Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Hands on SAP Dev with me, DJ Q Macro. I'm coming to you live on this Friday. What is it, the 3rd of March already? So welcome. Say hi on the chat. I'm glad you've joined. Thank you very much indeed. Yeah, it's 8 a.m. And yeah, what we're going to cover? We're going to cover where we left off. Are we going to carry on from where we left off the previous episode? But more on that shortly. Good morning to Helmut in Brunswick in Germany. So I've got my coffee in my usual Hands on SAP Dev mug. Federico, good morning to you. Volker, aloha. Volker, welcome. Welcome, old friend, to the Hands on SAP Dev posse. It's good to have you. I did see your tweet yesterday that you'd be able to join. Super having you on. HP Zeitz, good morning. Ahoy there. Captain, sailor, whatever. Very good. Yes. So I've got my coffee. I've got my mini Stroop waffle that I've already started to eat while I was waiting. Sakib, good morning to you. Good morning. And Hasensaurus. Hasensaurus, is that how you pronounce your name? Is that like a big rabbit dinosaur? I don't know. A hare dinosaur? I don't know. Virinci, good morning to you as well. Yeah, welcome. So, yeah, we're gonna do a little bit more back to basics CAP stuff shortly. As the title suggests above my head, I'm getting more used to doing that now. Obviously, I can't see what's behind my head because there isn't anything. Well, there's a green screen behind me, and the ceiling of this living room is behind my head. But behind my head is a nice bit of text, hopefully. So yeah, finally after well, I'll tell you how many episodes shortly. After a number of episodes, I'm getting used to doing live streams, almost. So, famous last words. So, good morning to Mark, and good morning to Nico. Yes, I'm super happy you've finally made it again as well, Volker. So, before I begin, Tanmoy, another old friend of the live stream. Tanmoy, welcome back, Tanmoy. Did I switch to the main stream? Oh, I've not switched to the main scene already. So let me switch to the main scene. The latest SAP development. This is what we used to do, isn't it? This is what we used to sort of, just a little bit of news, a little bit of sort of meta news or meta information. So the latest, let me post that in the chat here. Boing there. I've also got down here my Chrome Pixelbook, so I can see the chat slightly bigger. And there's the news put together for you every week. And oh gosh, there's me in an action shot. Look at that beard sort of whipping around. It's like blurred. It's going so fast. What's going on? Actually, while we're here, if you've not already created a user on the new what's it called? groups.community.scp.com. Go ahead and create that. So use the link to the news to go there and put a kudos in this SAP developer news item that Josh has posted here. So so we know you've done that. And then also you can go to groups, right? Activities, SAP CodeJam. So I know you're probably aware that the team are ramping up CodeJam activities. So check this out. Let me put that in the link as well in the chat. Got some more. Hello, Volker. No, I'm not. Volker. So Volker's asking, am I streaming from the boat already? No, the boat is not ready yet. It's going to be sort of ready in June, maybe end of June. The fit out is progressing, and I do need to write another blog post with another update. The boat looks amazing. But in fact, I was just thinking this morning, this green screen behind me, which you can't see, obviously. If you could see the green screen, it wouldn't be a very good green screen. I'm going to have that as well. I've got my desk set up. The desk is built. There's got a bulkhead here, desk. Desk is a bit deeper than it was before because I've got them to change it. The green screen is going to go behind it. So it's all ready. So yeah, June, July, I'll be live streaming from the boat. And good morning to Thomas and Oscar and Marion. My goodness me, good morning and welcome and sunshine and smiley faces and live long and prosper, whatever it is. Yes, boat news, exactly. Okay, so check out this page on groups.community.scp.com, all about CodeJams. As you probably know, Rich Harman and Tom Young are coming over to UK and Europe this month to do a CodeJam Roadshow. I think it's starting in Sunbury in the UK, but then moving over to the mainland Europe, continental Europe, and doing all sorts of CodeJams. Check out this. For example, I did a CodeJam last Friday in Heilbronn, and I've written that up there, so check that out there, and also check out, basically, these are the topics that we're offering, that we're working on this year from a CodeJam perspective. We've got hands-on SAP Dev, hands-on SAP Dev, hands-on with the BTPT line APIs, we've got the ABAP Cloud and RAP, we got CAP with service integration, we got introduction to SAP UI5. I think the instructor of this one might be on the channel, Nico. Yes, you are. Thank you very much. More boat content. Yes. Connecting systems and services using SAP Integration Suite. I think that could be Antonio. We've got all sorts of things, right? So check this out and check out the other thing as well, which is the prerequisites. If you're just wondering, what you need to request and host a CodeJam, Tom's written a little blog post here, so go and check that out as well. Anyway, where were we? Where we were was here. So I've got it all set up ready. And at the end of the previous live stream, we had everything wired up, and we'd been using indirectly, of course, implicitly, the SAP Cloud SDK to talk to a remote service on the SAP API Business Hub, right? And we've got everything defined there. We're not going to go through too much detail now. We can see the .env there. And also, let's run it, CDS Watch. Now, CDS Watch, in fact, I've just made a mistake there anyway, but let's just learn from that mistake. CDS Watch, let's see what fires up, okay? So we can see everything starts up, loaded model from 3 files here, and blah, blah, blah. And so the serving show and mocking API business partner. So if I go to localhost 4004, we can see we got service endpoints, we got the API business partner that's being mocked, and down at the bottom there, we got this show behind my head. Probably, let me just move out of the way for a second. There we go, show. We got the participants and the, where is it? We don't want CD source. We've got the participants, we've got the episodes, okay? Good morning, Laco. Good morning and welcome. So that's what we got. But in fact, I forgot to specify something, didn't I? We were messing around with and learning about profiles. So what we really want is CDS Watch profile sandbox, and that will bring on board extra configuration that we did last time that basically tells the CAP server, oh, there is already some bindings for the API business partner requirement. Remember, that's in the packages.json. And because it's found those bindings, it will use the SAP Cloud SDK. Well, it'll first of all gather the destination details, the URL and the API key in this case, and then it won't mock the API business partner because it knows that it doesn't need to mock it because there are bindings, external bindings for it. So now if we go across to here and we refresh that, there we go. Okay, so we've got just the simple, pure service. We've got our stupid little episodes thing here, right? There's the episodes, just some random data, live stream episodes, doesn't really matter what the data is. And also we've got the participants, and that is coming, you can see down there, passing request to remote system, and there's the call that's being made, the OData call that's being made on our behalf, and we know it's an OData query operation, and we got loads of data, there, and also we can see straight away from that very giveaway structure at the top, you got the sort of the inline metadata, the @odata.context value property, which sort of gives it away that it's an OData V4 thing, and also the fact that it's not got a D property that tells us also it's not OData V2, and the fact that it's got a value property, which the value for which as it were is an array. Anyway, it's OData V4. That's cool. So anyway. Where are we? Yeah, so that's that. Now, what I wanted to talk to you today about and explore with you and learn with you is what was the title of this live stream? I can't remember. Somebody tell me the title of this live stream. Is it like extending and relating something or other? Extending, oh yes, extending and relating entities, I think. Yes, anyway, so that's what we're going to do. Let's just stare for a second, because this is slightly philosophical, slightly sort of mental. We have to think about what we have and where things are and where things sort of more naturally belong. But we've got, and I deliberately, when I was setting up this morning, I was deliberately, I thought, carry on using VS Code, and at the bottom there, so I always think of the schema, the persistence layer at the bottom, and then on top of that you have the service layer. On top of that, maybe if you're doing that thing, you have the app layer, right? So there we go. Good, Chris Wheely in the house. My goodness me, welcome, Chris Wheely, an old friend of everybody's here. Chris Wheely, super genius. So lovely to see you, Chris. Lovely to see you. How is the WebAssembly coming on? Amazing. Everything that Chris does, it just blows my mind. Everything you all do blows my mind. Anyway, my mind is easily blown. It's a very small mind. So we've got the schema down here, and just got this entity episodes, right? And then in our show.cds, we're projecting onto that episodes entity, right? Oh, thanks. And we all love each other here. That's very nice. And we also are bringing in. So there's the using statement. The hands-on SAP Dev bringing in hands-on SAP Dev. There's the namespace there. Bringing that in from the DB schema, which is this thing here. But we're also, remember when we imported that EDMX model. Okay, so we went to the API Business Hub. We said, oh yeah, API Business Partner. That's the API that we want. And we brought down the EDMX file, and we did CDS import, and it went into there and got converted to a season file, which is there, which is cool. And that's all nicely sort of compartmentalized into this sort of external directory. You've got serve, which is our service layer directory. And you've got within there, you've got the show. Okay, fine. That's that's defining our show service. But also you've got sort of separately packaged, as it were, you've got this external thing, right? Which includes all the endpoints, basically includes the API Business Partner API, right? Okay, so far so good. WebAssembly is cool. Yes, it is cool. It's beyond me, but it's cool. So let's think about how we might improve this. Because at the moment, this is like a bit of a sledgehammer approach. It's like, or even, I'm just thinking maybe, this is very relevant, where the web was invented at CERN. They have that big ring, what's it called? The particle accelerator thing, the huge underground ring where they smash things together, right? The Large Hadron Collider, that's it. So we've used, effectively, the Large Hadron Collider. And on one side, we've put our local service definition, our schema with the show, with the episodes entity, right? And we've got our show definitions. Well, that's sort of local, right? And we've got our remote service, our remote API, which is the API Business Partner. We got that at the other end, or the other side of the remote of the Large Hadron Collider, and we go smash them together, right, in show.cds. So we've got sitting up, beside each other, two quite sort of separate things. It's cool, it works, and we all understand it. But the beauty of CDS in this context here, and the way that CAP has been designed to be as convention over configuration as possible, if that were an adjective, but also as flexible as possible, we can do a little bit better. We can be a bit cleaner in terms of how we bring these things together. One thing is not like the other. This local show service with its episodes entity is not really is not really related to this API Business Partner thing, right? I think I've hopefully explain. Let me know if that makes sense. If that sort of premise makes sense. Put it in the chat. I keep pointing down there to the chat because that's where I'm reading the chat. Okay. Now, what we can do is we can say, well, let's sort of take out this line. Let me see. You keep coming to the mouse. I don't like the mouse. Let me just use a keyboard. Yeah, there we go. So I've got the Vim extension in VS Code, which makes VS Code a lot more pleasant for me, which is great. And I'm learning to sort of, you get the keyboard shortcut, so I can go to the Explorer window. I can go to this window here, and so on. Right. Anyway, is that another window? Yes, it is. There we go. Look at that. Oh, amazing. Okay. So I'm going to remove that sort of Large Hadron Collider smashed in participants reference, right? And we can see that, because we're doing CDS watch, the cap server is restarting. Okay. Actually, we can remove that one as well. That was, there we go. We remove that one. What I need to do, I think, is configure VS Code to auto-save, but auto-save after a longer period, maybe 5 seconds instead of 2 seconds, so I'm not sort of stressing out the CDS watch and it's not restarting every time. But anyway, right? So we've now removed any reference to the participants projection on the external endpoint in the API Business Partner API. So if we go back to here and refresh, what do we get? Oh, there we go. We get an error. I mean, we're not going to go crazy on errors today. Errors are wonderful. But this error, it's like obvious, right? We're now asking for the participants entity. Well, let me be even more sort of generic. We're now asking for the participants resource, could be anything, right? CBA could be anything in the show path, right? And it's saying in a beautiful error, really. 404 basically is what you'd expect. I mean, I'm guessing that the HTTP status code that comes back is a 404, right? Not found. I can't find this participants thing. But it sort of gives us a really nice idea of the sorts of things that are available to serve, in an OData service v4 context from CAP, right? It's like entity sets, singleton, action import, function import, these are all OData V4 things. And in fact, who was asking? Helmut, was it you that mentioned the Mars Lalani's terminal slides thing? I thought, I'm sure I've talked about OData V4. Well, I have talked about OData V4 and singletons, and I thought, where is it? It's here. So I found my repo with my talk, the slides here, and you can see the slides, but also slides. There we go. There we go. So there, singleton. I talk about singletons. So there's that. An OData singleton is a beautiful thing, right? So if you're wondering what a singleton is, it's an OData V4 feature. But I thought, let's have a bit of Mars Lalani's slide action, because it's really, really cool. Ooh, look at that. I mean, how beautiful is that? Yes, I think it was you, wasn't it, Helmut? Anyway, I'm digressing. Let's go back to here. So that's giving an error message. And of course, we're going to get that error message because we don't have, let's refresh that, we don't have the participants entity in the service endpoint, in our show service endpoint, obviously. Now, what we're going to do is put that participants, we still want the participants, but instead of smashing it into our local show service definition, what we're going to do, let me go to here, and we're going to go into the service layer and create a new file. And not traditional, I don't think the word traditionally is the correct word, but, and in fact, let's put that show down there. How do you do that? There we go. There we go. I do like the way that VS Code sort of equals out the sizes of things. So let's go back to here. So now down here at the bottom, let's make that big. Here at the bottom, we have the schema layer. Here in the middle, we have our local show, right? Got our API business partner over here. And now what we're going to say is using from show, right? Using from show. So now, even with that, we can start to think about what we're going to do. So what we've done is in our show layer, in a separate file, in a separate CDS definition file, we're bringing in the definition of what's in show, which is, of course, this file here. So we're bringing in this stuff. We could have said, in fact, let's do that. Let's go here and say extend. Now, one of the beautiful differences with the word extend in my small brain is that this isn't sort of defining an absolute thing like, like here in lines 3 to 5, like this service definition, or even in here in the schema, we're not defining a new entity. What we're doing is we're sort of enhancing, modifying, extending a thing that already exists, right? So we're going to say extend service show. Well, let's not extend it at all, first of all. So let's just dwell on that for a second, right? So now the thing restarts up because of course we're doing CDS watch, right? Over here though, nothing's changed, which is obviously nothing's changed. In fact, let's have a look at the metadata. There's the metadata, and we can see we've got our entity container that contains the episodes entity set. That's all there is, and the episodes entity type, right, which is what's used to describe the things in the entity set, right? In the episodes entity set, it's just got two fields, two properties, ID and title. ID is a key, and then title. The really cool thing is, as you can see here, we got our beautiful @title annotation, and they are appearing naturally for us. How cool is CAP, right? How cool is CDS? Got the annotations there, and we have that. Anyway, right. We're not doing annotations today. If you want to do it, if you fancy doing some annotations and digging into that, let me know, and we'll learn that together. So anyway. We're extending that, and nothing's changed there. So let's go back to here, and then let's add just to sort of make our feet wet, get our feet wet. I don't even what's going on with my English. I don't know. Let's have a entity fruit, bananas and things. Banana fruit will do. Key name string. Right, there we go. Let's have that. So that's just a simple inline, almost like inline CSS. So Nico and I were talking about inline CSS in a style tag inside Markdown yesterday, weren't we, Nico? And this sort of reminds me, this is almost like an inline, well, it is an inline definition of an entity, right? We're not defining the entity down below at the schema level. We're just defining it here, because why not? And look at that, really cool. You've got the auto refresh there above my head, and all of a sudden we've got this show, this fruit. Obviously, there's nothing in there because there's no data. But if we look at the metadata, we can see there, fruit, property name, property reference name, property type, name, string, blah, 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 whatever, right? So we can already start to see, right, let's go back. We can already start to see how we can sort of more gently not with big, large Hadron Collider smashing together machinery, but we can sort of more delicately tiptoe around the thing and just be more gentle and respectful of the things that we're bringing together. So we're now, adding something to the show service. We've now got the episodes entity, which we already have from here, right? From where are we? Oh, from here, and we've also now got the fruit entity, right? Now. So what we can do is we can say, this is really cool, because as you can see, in fact, as you can see down here. What does it say? We go, look, loaded model for 4 files. So CSS inside Markdown backfired big time, by the way. GitHub wouldn't render it. Nico, well, I think you probably do know how happy that makes me. Yeah. It's a big red flag in my very old-fashioned small brain. So I'm glad it wouldn't render it. Excellent. There is some HTML that you sometimes want to inject into Markdown, but in my personal opinion, that should be an exception. Anyway, that's another story. So where are we? So we can see the show gets loaded as well. By the way, I was wondering about the rules as to what things are auto-loaded. And in fact, you can say here, cds env get, no, it's got, you call them folders, don't we? Folders, get folders. There we go. And we can see these are the folders that things will be automatically loaded from on startup, right? The app folder, the serve folder, and the DB folder. And you can change those in configuration. And this is a beautiful thing. It's a perfect balance, I think, between you can change whatever you want, but if you don't change anything, it will do the right thing for you because convention over configuration. I mean, there's also, I think, get roots. I think these are called roots, aren't they? Yeah, there we go. So we get the DB is a root, serve is a root, app is a root, schema. If you find schema.cds or services.cds, those are sort of default things. Anyway, that's why we get these things loaded from here. Let's just start that off again and bring that down again, right? Now we're sort of treading more lightly over this sort of relationship between this remote API and our local show service with its episodes entity. We'll leave the fruit in, why not? We can now say, we can put the sort of thing, we can sort of put back what the, what we had before. So using from, and there we go. Look at the autocomplete, look at the autocomplete. There we go, bang. Get rid of the CSN because let's be generic there. In fact, control space, look at that. He finds it using hands-on SAP dev, right? Using hands-on SAP dev, it's amazing, right? So using hands-on SAP, well, in fact, we don't want hands-on SAP, we want API business partner. There, that's the one, yeah. And now we can say entity participant. In fact, I'm going to stop that, keep what's it calling while I do this. Entity participants as projection on API business partner, what we had before, right? Look at that. I just love this autocomplete, right? A business partner. Okay. So really, all we've done is we've moved this line, this one here, right? This line, and of course, obviously the corresponding sort of bringing things in line from here up to here, and that seems to me already a better situation to have, because now we've not smashed together two disparate, different things. We're just sort of standing sort of to the side of both of them and saying, well, just join that to that there and have that relationship, extend that with that one there, right? So let's start this up again and see what we get. And while that starts up, I'm going to have a bit of a Okay, refresh. So now we have the episodes, the fruit, and what we had before, which is the participants, which still is connected. Same configuration. The remote service, we've got the show.js as well. This is what is emitting that passing a request to a remote system, of course, which we did last time. So it's all good. So now, with that in mind, let's go one stage further and say, well, really, I'll forget the data for now. I think we've got this, random data. But all I'm interested in for this, not any more smashed together relationship between local and remote things, but a more gently, I don't know the word, put together, a more gently sort of related thing. I'm not interested in customer supply, academic title, industry, last change, gender, its sex unknown, his natural person, additional name, birthday, whatever. I don't want all those. So now what I can do is I can also say, well, let's take this external, this nice package, right, which was created for us when we did the CDS import, and sort of put a nice little, excuse me, a nice little bow around it, a nice little wrapper. By the way, are we all still there? Are we all still there? I'm still live. Yeah, there we go. Oh, hello. Yes, there we go. So I only have one screen, right? And I've got this temporary separate Chromebook, Pixelbook down here for the chat. Exactly, maybe loose coupling. Yeah, loose coupling is where it's at. You know, it's just a more delicate, a more gentle way of joining things together. Anyway, I was going to say, you know, a live streamer I watch quite a lot, RWX Rob, I saw his setup and he's got about 7 or 8 monitors going on. I mean, and you think, wow, that's pretty cool and pretty extreme. But I can, you know, I understand the need for different things because you can, you know, I don't know whether I'm still live, right? I have to go flip back here. Am I still live? Yes, I'm still live. Oh, excellent connection. There we go. Very good. Anyway, so given that we now feel comfortable in creating new files, mashup.cds, let's create a new file, but let's have it inside our external, right? We're not going to modify this thing here, but it's almost like we're going to add a little bow around, a little wrapping bow, nice parcel thing around here. So I'm using a keyboard again, in external, I'm going to create a new file called index.cds. Let's call it index.cds because really, you could call it anything, right? But for me, the logic of calling it index.cds makes sense because it's almost like the front door to a thing, the front door to a directory, just like I think the original Apache web server HTTPD did this. I mean, I know it did do that, but maybe that was the first. If you get Apache's original web server and point it to a directory of files, if there's nothing else in there, it'll just show you a list of files, you know, like a directory listing. But if you have an index.something, it will serve that index.something, like index.html. It's like a convention. So that, to me, here, index.cds is a bit like a convention, right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to sort of put a nice little thing around. Let me stop talking and start doing something. So using, right, let's use API Business Partner from there, right, from there. So note that I'm just bringing in the API Business Partner namespace effectively from the file that's in the same directory, right, from this file here, right? So I'm bringing that in. Nothing over here, right? Nothing's going to change. I've not done anything else. I refresh there. Nothing's changed. Metadata, it's all the same, right? There, in fact, they're the participants. That's crazy, right? We've got all these ridiculous properties. We don't want all of those, right? So, where are we? Let's go across to here, go to 1. And now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to redefine, right, what I want the business partner entity to be, right? Because really, you know, we're all participants. So I'm going to redefine. So I'm going to say entity. In fact, yeah, entity, community person, community member, community. You're all community member. We're all community members, right? As projection, just like we did before, as projection on API business partner.a business partner, right? Fine. But with this entity definition, what you can do with an entity definition, if it's a projection, right? You're just saying, well, you know, you're pointing to something. But in that pointing, you can say, well, I don't want all that rubbish. I almost said a rude word then. I don't want that rubbish. I just want, well, I want a key, first of all. Key biz. Look at that as well. Look at that. Ooh, how amazing is that? I want the business partner, which is the ID, right? But I don't want to call it business partner because that's like too businessy. I want as name. And I also want business partner full name, was it? Yeah, we're using a full name, aren't we? As ID. ID as name. There we go. Fine. So now what we've done is we've defined a projection on the A underscore business partner, right? Which is a well-defined thing with millions of properties. But we're saying our projection, we want to call it community member, not business partner, because like I say, it's like too, corporate. But we only want 2 properties. We want a key property, which is the ID, and we want a name property for some name. And let's put that in a namespace. Let's call it simple, right? So now we've got this index.cds, which is the front door to our previously imported external API. Nice little bow around it. And all it's saying is, oh, yeah, you've got this community member thing now, which has got 2 properties. Notice, by the way, I wish there was a way of sort of, making this bigger and smaller with the keyboard. But anyway, notice, by the way, that there's my copy. Because of the convention that I'm going with, I'm allowing CDS to the cap server to use the standard conventions of just loading things that it finds in DB, serve, and app, and not going any further, because don't forget this is in serve external, so it doesn't descend all directories to find things. Even though it's called index.cds, it's not going to automatically load it because it's not in these routes, right? So we still, we're not picking this index.cds up. So, and why would we really? So, what we'll do now is in the mashup, we want to bring in this index.cds. So in the mashup, we want to say using, what's that there? That's quite cool. I've never noticed that before. Using simple from, and where is it? There, look at that. External, /external, as in it's in here. Remember, show.cds is in serve. And we've got the external package as a separate directory, which includes the stuff that was automatically there because of the import. But now it also includes this index.cds. And there it is, index.cds. But look at that. This is what I was playing around with this the other day. I was thinking, that's weird. It's not taking it. // external. Oops, sorry, not that one. // Come on, DJ, what are you doing? External. I'll select that. If I were to select that, right? This is the wrong one, but if I were to select that, let's just stop this for a second. // external. If I was to select that, I get the whole thing, right? But if I select that one, it chops off index.cds. I'm thinking, what's going on? But then I realized, right? Oh, yeah. Just like the way we think about this as, as an Apache HTTPD convention, index.anything is almost like a given. It's like, well, that's it. That's the thing. If you don't specify, it's going to look for an index.cds, right? So we're going to bring in that, and now we need to put a semicolon, of course, don't we? There, and now we can oh, sorry, I'm doing it in the wrong thing. What an idiot! Sorry, I thought this was mashup. We want to put it in mashup, don't we? Let's put that in there. Go back here. Now, how do I move between these different things with a keyboard? Maybe I'll just say mashup. Mashup.cds. There we go. There, now. That's better. So I'll add that there. I'll put that back in. Using simple from external. Yeah, okay. See how that... in my brain now, I think that was okay because it felt wrong. I'm thinking, hold on a minute. I don't want to put this projection inside the show service. I don't want to touch this show service. And it felt like dirty. It's like, oh, I don't want to do that. And that's when I realized that I was in the wrong file, because where I should be putting it is in the mashup.cds. And in fact, why don't we do this? Put mashup, so my brain can think about it better. There we go. Look at that. Put that down there. So we can all sort of think a little bit more about. One smaller maybe? Yeah, okay. Is that too small? Let me know if it's too small. Helmut, you're always great at letting me know. Tell me, Helmut, is that too small or is it okay? But this gives us a picture, right? We're going from underneath, right? There's the schema at the persistence layer in our local service. There's the service layer in our local service. Coming down from the top, we've got the index, the new wrapper to our external remote API. We're wrapping that with this nice sort of, namespaced entity definition, which is a projection on one of the endpoints, one of the entities in this API. And sort of in the middle, gluing these things, pulling these things together like two strings. It's not a very good metaphor, that is simile. But anyway, pulling these things together. Thank you, Helmut. We've got our mashup, right? And inside our mashup, that's where we can do our bring this thread here and bring this thread here, right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to put our participants back in, but instead of instead of having it as a projection on the API business partner, right? Let's have a quick look. Let's go across to here. Oh, let's just run this again, right? CS watch. Let's just see the before and after. The before and after. So let's go across and refresh that. There we go. So we've still got fruit from the mashup, participants from the mashup, and episodes from the actual show service, right? From the local schema. If we look at the metadata, we've got the fruit entity type, we've got the participants entity type, and we've got the episodes entity type. And the participants entity type is whammo, all these different properties, right? What we don't want. So, in fact, let's go back to the top. What we can do now is here is projection on not that, but simple dot. Don't you just love the autocomplete? Simple dot community member. Right? Get rid of that new line. Now that's restarted at the bottom, and also note that it's now in the list of loaded model from X files. We get the schema from the DB, we get the mashup and the show from the serve, because that's standard. We get the serve external API business partner because we're bringing that in. And why are we bringing that in? Because we're also referring to the index.cds. And why are we doing that? Because we're saying in the mashup.cds, which is that one, which is automatically imported, in the mashup.cds, right? Here we're saying using from show. So we're bringing it, using from show, using simple from external. So it's bringing in this one, right? It all sort of, hey, come on board. Oh, I say, oh yeah, okay, thank you very much. And oh, hey, come on board as well. Oh yes, let's bring everybody in, right? So this is how it all gets loaded beautifully. Now, this is all restarted. Let's go back here and refresh. Boom! Ah, look at that. Participants is now beautiful. We've got the fruit, don't care about that. We've got the episodes, don't care about that. What we care about is this participants entity type, which is now all of a sudden exactly what we want with just two properties, ID and name. And that's because we've defined this thing here. Let's go back here. We've defined entity participants in our show service. There's our show service just with episodes. That's the only local thing, right, in this service. In our mashup, we're doing this random nonsense here, which, yeah, so let's get rid of that. We don't need that anymore, right? In our extend, right, we're saying, let's have a participants entity and let's have it as a projection on this simple community member, which is coming from here, which is coming from here, which is the wrapper around our sort of nicely enclosed external remote API service thing. Helmut says there is an SAP CDS index npm package which creates an index with all your CDS for. Yes, I've heard of that. So that's a good point actually, Helmut. So yeah, definitely have a look. In fact, I wonder if we can go to Capire. Let's look for index.cds. Index.cds. DB index. Oh, DB. There we go. This. I saw it here. Default project layouts. In fact, default project layouts. Let's do that. Get rid of that question mark thing. There. Let's share that, right, in the thing. So have a look at that, and that explains a little bit more. So yeah, but as Helmut says, there's this thing, what does it say? SAP CDS indexer, which creates an index with all your CDS for you. So yeah, have a play around with, this whole idea of where things are defined, where things are pulled in. And Tanmoy says, should we remove line 1 from mashup.cds? Line 1 from mashup.cds. Where's mashup? Oh yes, thank you very much. Let's do that. Because we don't want that anymore, do we? Right? Let's see what happens. Let's remove that. Okay. Well spotted, Tanmoy. Well spotted. There we go. And it's running, and it all still works. Because of course it still works. Because the thing we just removed, we weren't using anyway. Beautiful. I like that. I like that, Tanmoy. Well done. Good spot. Now, Bruno, good morning. Good morning, Bruno. Welcome. So, is it possible to extend the entity too? Like add a new property to the entity? It's almost like you're reading my mind, because one of the things I wanted to finish on, it's 8:46, yeah, we can do that easily, is extending not the service, but an entity, right? So, let's say we wanted, let's say we wanted to extend our episodes entity, right? Because if we look at the episodes right now, really, I mean, this is a ridiculously rubbish data model, right? It's just for, for something to have. But of course, a hands-on SAP Dev episode has a title, it has things, and it has participants. Who participated? Who of you lot came along that day? So let's say we wanted to have a participants relationship between the episodes and the participants, because at the moment all we've got is two beautiful but completely unrelated enotities. So we'll do that now as well, because that'll be, I think that, yeah, we can do that. So just like, let me just, we've got this episode here. Let's close this schema.cds. I'll give them more space. We all know what's in schema.cds. It's just at the persistence layer, the definition of the, oh no, tell you what, let's leave that there. Let's leave that there. What can we get rid of? We can get rid of this one, right? Because we've defined that. We've defined this community member. We're not going to change that now. So there we go. A bit more. I was looking for a bit more white space. So we've got our episodes entity definition. It's just got an ID, an ID, the YouTube video ID, and the title, right? And we've got our show thing here. So this is our mashup. This is where we're sort of delicately treading gently and adding things and joining things. So we can also, in fact, if we want to extend it, let's just bring in the using first, right? Using hands-on SAP Dev from our show, right? From our show thing, right? Because we're importing it there anyway. So why not show? Show there. Oh, we've already got that anyway, haven't we? Got that using from show. Okay, we don't need that. So we can say here, let's just bring this down a bit. Extend, right? Hands-on SAP Dev dot episodes, right? Extend hands-on SAP Dev episodes with, and then we could say, I don't know, fruit, string. Let's just have a simple one first of all. Let's see what happens. So what we're doing is we're just adding another property to the definition of the episode's entity, which is defined in hands-on SAP dev namespace, which is here, which is being imported because we're importing everything from show, etc., right? So all the way down. So now if we go to, let's refresh that, metadata, where is it? Participants, hopefully. Episode, oh, there we go, episodes, there, episodes. Let's collapse that one and that one. So now we've got this entity type here that has an ID, a title, and also it's got another property called fruit. If you're wondering why I always use fruit, because I always think of banana as my test word, and of course banana is a fruit, so it's just fruit, right? That's how my brain works. It's stupid. But now we can use that and say, well, actually, let's not do something as ridiculous as that. Let's say participants, right? Association to many, right? We've already got the namespace brought in, simple dot community members. So what we're doing now is not defining like a an absolute bang, here's a new property and it's type string. What we're doing is we're saying, let's have a new property called participants. Okay. Is it not available public? Okay, cool. Interesting. Is it? So where did you find that, Helmut? Because I've seen it internally. I've not even looked externally, but I assumed it was external as well. So where did you find that, Helmut? Let me know. Association to many simple community members, right? So we've got a projection on there, but we've also got now an association inside the episode's entity definition. So what's that done? We've restarted already. That's right, Helmut. No confusion. We're all learning here. I've got no clue what's going on. That's cool. So now let's go back. Right, the fruit's gone. Refresh. Right, metadata. Where is it? Participants, episodes. There we go. Participants. There we go. Look. Ooh. Entity type. Now, the participants. We had fruit before, and it was a simple. I don't know why I'm using the word flat. It was a simple flat, not relation. Property, fruit, type string, banana, whatever. But now we've got a participants property. It's a new property. But because of the beautiful managed association concept in CDS, it will do all the heavy lifting for us in terms of relationships and foreign keys and all that. And it will create, from an OData perspective, not a property, but a navigation property. And where does it point to? Well, it's a type, a collection of, as in that's the result of using too many, right? And where is it? Show. And don't forget, show here is the namespace. By the way, can you see that? Let me make that full screen for a second. Make that bigger, right? So this is what we're looking at. Show is the namespace. Show. Where is it? Show.participants. Where? Namespace show. Participants. So it's a collection of these things, right? And that's it. And now, of course, because we've given all the hard work to CDS to do the heavy lifting, it's also by definition almost, not by definition almost, it's as a requirement to make this relationship work, added a new property name, participants ID. This is basically going to be the foreign key, the key of the ID in the participants entity. SAP internal package. Okay, fine. By the way, I just remembered the really cool thing, which I forgot to show you. The really cool thing about having, let's bring in index again. There, having this is that now when we look at participants, for example, we don't get all those properties for every single entity, in the entity set. We just get the ID and the name. How cool is that? In fact, business partner, yeah, that's fine. Business partner full name, right? There's the business partner full name and its name. In fact, just to show you, right, as the name, right? Let's have that restarting. Okay, don't forget, all we're doing is we're just changing the projection and the name of the properties that we've defined as to replace the actual original projectee property name. So now if I refresh that, oops, hello, we should have ID and the name, right? Hopefully. The name, there we go, the name. So there we go. So we've got now this thing. Let's get rid of that again. We've now extended the show service and added the participants as projection. Bang, this hard and fast projection. But now also in the metadata we've seen, because of this extend, this hopefully answers your question, Bruno. We've got this extension of the definition of the episode's entity type, right? Added a participants thing with a managed association. And that's this thing here, right? That's what we saw. Where is it? Come on. Navigation property. Now, the upshot is, when we look at the participants now, it's the same. But when we look at the episodes, what do we get? We get participants ID as well. So there we go. Does that make sense? It's 8:56. I did wonder whether I'd get through all that, but I'm quite pleased we did. Right? For next time, if we can sort of extend this a little bit more, let me know in the chat. We've got a few minutes to chat now. For next time. Okay, cool. Thanks, Bruno. For next time, would it be worth continuing with this or starting a new subject? Annotations? Shall we go and add some data with the relationships with the participant IDs and seeing that and how that works? Let me know. We could even use, slightly against my religion, but we could even use this HTTP client extension in VS Code, because I used that on a code jam and it was cool. I mean, it wasn't anywhere near as cool as curl, of course, but it was pretty cool. So if we're going to stay in VS Code, maybe we could do that, or we could do some annotations, etc. Right, or something else. Oh, Nico, please do episodes expand equals participants. Oh, let's do that. Episodes expand equals participants. Bong. Yeah, there's no participants. Right, there's no participants. But we do get the correct metadata. Right. But yeah. But we could do that once we got some data, right? Once we've got some data. Anyway, I was going to say something then. What was I going to say? Oh, yes. Could we fill party? Yes. That's what. Maybe we should do that next time. Yeah, it's only 1 minute left, right? So let's do that next time and start to fill out that. Now, talking of next time, shall we do that? Yeah, let's do that then. Okay, because we've got to the stage now where we're beautifully and delicately bringing these things together. So let's add some data with CSV, and also I've found, or I've determined, main cube. Where is it called? I can't. Oh, where is it? What's it called? YouTube. I can't believe I did that. YouTube, DJ Adams, Q macro. Oh, there we go. There. That is a list. Oh, hello. That is a list of all of the hands-on SAP dev episodes that we've done together. 146. So we're coming up to 150. I think that'd be quite cool to sort of celebrate that. So that we can actually, I started to do this because I was interested in, remember earlier on this year, I said, how many have we done, right? Live streams like this, hands-on SAP live together, and it's 146. So we've got all the data, so I can fill in some data, proper data, rather than just these 5, and have some, have some random participants. Should we do that? So we could do that as well. By the way, no live streams now, next week. So basically, I'm taking some holiday in March. So I'm away for mostly the rest of this month. I'm away for a few days. I'm here for a few days next week, but after that, I'm away for the whole of March. Get back in April, and there's some bank holidays, public holidays in the UK, and then I'm doing a code jam in somewhere, can't remember. So it won't be until sort of the second half of April now until we see each other again. But anyway, so have a great Friday, have a great weekend. More cap stuff. Okay, let's carry on doing cap stuff. Cool. All right. Thanks, Tanmoy. Thanks. Oh, Nico's Helmut said something as well. MTX. Yes, MTX. Perfect. Multi-tenancy. There's loads of cap stuff to do, right? So let's do that. Okay, have a great Friday, have a great weekend, and I'll see you, if I don't see you before, I'll see you sort of, mid next month on live streams.